So we have to start with our today's lecture. This is basically on SPSS. I am going to teach you how you can use SPSS software for your data analysis, especially for those who are new to this data analysis. Okay, let's start today's lecture. So we are going to learn in this lecture very briefly about some data analysis techniques, what is the data and how we can manage the data in any software. It's irrespective of SPSS. SPSS is just a tool to analyze the data, but we have different types of the tools available, and SPSS is one of them. At the end of this lecture, I will give you one tip. That tip is very special, and all those who are doing research, all those who are doing data analysis, they are having some challenges, difficulties on the data analysis. I will give you one tip how to interpret and how to get your result quickly. So you can use that tip anywhere or all type of test or all type of data analysis. That will be better for you in order to understand what is happening there. Okay, now let's start with the first thing. We need to understand the data. The second one would be introduction to this SPSS software. The next step would be we need to understand the SPSS environment, how we can do the data entry, how we can import our Excel sheets, how we can work with the SPSS software. That would be next point. And finally, we will do some descriptive analysis and correlation and regression. That is part of your syllabus. So this would be the learning outcome for today's lecture.
How we can use these scales in our research. Okay, so this is the basic concept. Now let's start with the previous class, a class before the last class. If you remember, I told you about the 4 different types of the data. Nominal. Do you remember what is nominal scale? Any confusion on this? Everybody is clear on the nominal scale. Nominal scales are those scales where we use different types of the categorization labels to identify the different groups of your sample or your population. Okay, so this is called nominal scale. Classes, semesters, all these are basically nominal scales. Okay? Nominal scale, we can only do frequency distribution. You remember, we can only do frequency distribution. Remember this, nominal scale, you cannot take mean, you cannot run all the descriptive statistics, because it is the nominal scale and it is categorized with respect to the different groups, labels or tags. So that is why we cannot do means or medians or mode. We just do a simple frequency distribution. Okay, then I mentioned the ordinal scale. If you remember, the ordinal scale is the scale where I mentioned that the data is followed by an order, mean that there is a rank between the options available for the user. So the data we receive from the ordinal scale will be in the ranking. The next scale was interval, and then we have ratio scale. So we are using interval scale in terms of rating scale, and also we are using Likert scale in terms of interval scale. So you are using rating or you are using interval scale, Likert scale under the interval scale. So that is how we have different types of our data, and this is what I explained in detail in the previous lecture. So you can get that lecture and you can understand that this is very simple in order to understand these different types of the data. Why I'm telling you this now? Because this is what we need to use in the SPSS. So please make sure when I explain everything, it is clear to you. Okay, if you have any question, you can post in the comment and I will try to answer your question instantly. Okay.